Hey guys, it's Dr. Jonah Yakel, your natural healthcare practitioner, and I'm excited to be sharing with you on the topic of gut health. And I think that all of us know how important it is to manage our inflammation, and most of us are even aware today that inflammation is at the root cause of many of our major health challenges, including heart disease, including cancer, including arthritis, including autoimmune diseases, even our mental, emotional, our mood related disorders like depression and anxiety, ADD, ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, all of these things are being connected and correlated with inflammation. But do you also know that your gut might be the number one source of the inflammation that you're experiencing in your body? It turns out that our gut is so linked to every aspect of our health, and we are learning more and more about this every single day. In fact, we are now learning that 60 to 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So, if our gut is not healthy, that is going to lower and decrease our immune function. So we're more prone to bacterial and viral infections, things of that nature. Furthermore, it turns out that even things like our brain hormones, things like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all of these neurotransmitters that fuel our brain and basically allow us to experience things like joy and happiness, 95% of these chemicals are made in the gut. So again, if our gut is not healthy, our brain is not healthy, period. We're more prone, again, to depression and anxiety and things of that nature if the gut is a mess. And that, and neither one of those are actually even addressing the reality that we've got trillions of bacteria in our gut. In fact, we have more bacteria in our gut than we have cells in our body. We are basically outnumbered. So we are becoming more and more aware of how our microbiome, how our gut flora influences our overall health and well-being, not just our gut health, but everything. We're finding that having imbalanced gut flora increases our likelihood of things like heart attacks and strokes. So, there is a huge correlation between what's going on in our gut and what's going on in the rest of the body. And the reason for that is because it is often ground zero for inflammation. And as the gut becomes more inflamed, the body becomes more inflamed. And what makes this so challenging is, I would say I have a certain percentage of people who come into my office who are struggling with gut health. They're coming in with heartburn, indigestion, maybe they're bloated, maybe they're getting diarrhea, maybe they're dealing with more serious stuff like ulcers or colitis or Crohn's, things of that nature, diverticulitis, but it doesn't even have to be that. I would say there's a significant portion of my clientele who come in with other symptoms that seem completely unrelated with their gut, only to find that it's actually coming from their gut. So if you're struggling with fatigue, if you're dealing with headaches, if you're having joint pain, joint stiffness, these can all be indicators that could be linking back into the gut. Every autoimmune related disorder oftentimes is rooted in the gut. And it's a simple reason, is because our gut is basically our barrier to the outside world. So we're supposed to have these nice, tight, strong gut junctions so that, we protect the body from any incoming virus or bacteria or even foods. But when our gut gets inflamed enough from the stress in our life, and again, this can be mental, emotional stress, of course, but this can also include things like taking antibiotics and, taking Advil and aspirins and, eating processed foods and sugars and even unhealthy fats, things like our vegetable oils, our corn oils, canola oils. All of these are highly inflammatory and damaging to the guts. Even things like grains have been shown to be damaging and inflammatory to the guts. But so what happens is those junctions start to loosen and we start letting in particles that should not be getting into the body. And the result is inflammation, is our whole body can start to become more and more inflamed. It doesn't necessarily mean we have abdominal pain. Now, we might have abdominal pain, but you might be experiencing what we call a leaky gut without even having any known digestive symptoms or any signs coming from the gut. And the more leaky the gut gets, the more bad stuff we start letting into the body, which means the more inflamed we get, well, we also start developing things like food sensitivities and sensitivities to chemicals and things of that nature. But this is also the root of just about every autoimmune disease as well. So the key to getting our health back on track, especially if we're dealing with high levels of inflammation, is getting the gut healthy. And a couple of quick tips there. First and foremost, bar none, I find that 80% of the time, if we get on a grain-free, dairy-free, obviously gluten-free type diet, getting off the most common forms of food intolerances and really getting on a vegetable and animal-based diet, something like a paleo diet, Whole30 diet, ketogenic diet. In my office, we do a phase 2 diet. So any of these would be very, very effective at bringing down the inflammation and allowing the gut to actually start to heal. Adding in healthy fats is going to be essential. So, replacing your vegetable oils and your canola oils with things like butter, coconut oil, really high quality, healthy fats, avocado oils. So getting off the grains, getting off the processed and refined foods, adding in healthy fats, right there, if that's all you do, I'm telling you, 80% of you are going to dramatically start turning around not only your gut health, but your overall health. That being said, it takes a long time to heal a gut. Depending on the severity of the issues, I tell people it's a minimum of 3 to 6 months. If you're in full-fledged autoimmune diseases, we're looking at upwards of 9 to 12 months to heal a gut. But the good news is it can happen. We just have to follow a very specific roadmap. And this would be the kickstart, getting on a real clear, grain-free, processed foods-free, dairy-free, gluten-free diet. So paleo, Whole30, this is going to work for at least 80% of the people out there. What I have found is people who are struggling with more severe or advanced symptoms, maybe they're already having heartburn, maybe they've been having to take antacids for years, maybe they've already developed things like Crohn's or colitis, any kind of autoimmunes. If you have a much more advanced type of health condition associated back with the gut, you might need additional help. And this is where we can come in with different with different protocols to help support things like our stomach or the gallbladder or the liver or the small intestine, the colon. So there's a lot of different supplements that can be utilized. And those include things like anti-inflammatories like turmeric. It could be digestive enzymes. Maybe we're doing some liver detoxification and support to increase bile production. So, oftentimes we'll have to do a full microbiome cleanse or basically rebuild the gut flora using pre and probiotics, but it's very specific to different, each individual is going to have different needs. But what we can all count on is that we all need to be on a low carbohydrate, grain-free, dairy-free type diet. And then if we need to specify for more advanced situations, that's where I would highly encourage you to work with a functional medicine practitioner. If you've got someone you like, it's a conversation I would have with them. If you do not have anyone you like and you're still looking, of course, I would be more than happy to support you in any way that I can. Feel free to reach out and set up an appointment with the office, and we can get you started moving towards greater gut health and therefore overall health right away. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, be sure to tune in. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be following this up with a real game changer video, as I'm going to be starting to talk about specifically mood-related disorders and what you can be doing. If you've been struggling with anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, you, a loved one, or even maybe a child that this could be a real game changer for you. So stay tuned, and I look forward to hearing any feedback from you guys regarding the videos. I'd love to hear. Have a great day.